Hey everybody, this is Maz here. Just wanted to give you a quick heads up before we welcome you back to the Shatterlands. Unfortunately, in this episode, we had some technical difficulties with Discord failing mid session and microphones not working and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. We tried our best to edit it out, actually, specifically revealing too much, tried to edit it out. But because we really think this episode is one you shouldn't miss, we're going to still put it out there, although it isn't the quality that we're trying to put out for each episode. Please accept our humblest apologies and enjoy episode 2 of The Naturolls, and welcome back to the Shatterlands.
All right, everybody, we are back with session 2 of the as yet unnamed trip through Daggerheart. We are playing somewhere between version 1.4 and 1.4.2, I believe, at the moment. So if we mess up any rules, too bad. If you'd like to do it your way, do it yourself. So yeah, we're gonna get started here again. Our campaign takes place in a region we are calling the Shatterlands. We used one of the maps from the Daggerheart materials and kind of created our own areas. So unless anybody has anything, we can dive back in.
Should we recap our last session?
I'll handle that.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds like a threat.
Ooh.
All right.
This time.
Let me pull up something for you here. The campfire pops loudly, startling you from the daze you've been in, absorbed in the story of your past adventures. As you look around at your friends, you think that maybe they were experiencing something similar. As Sal told the story of your meeting in the shining city of Skyland, you were almost transported back there to a time long ago. You laugh and shake your head to clear it. It's good to remember. It's good to be around all of these people again for what might be the last time. You all have other things to do, other lives to live now, and you don't know when you'll all get to be here together again. But this isn't time to focus on the future. That's not why you're here. The future, it's uncertain and ever-changing. In your time with the other adventurers around the campfire, you've probably changed that future more than once. You get up, stretch your tired bodies, refill your drinks, and if you'd like, talk to your friends. It's okay if you would not like. I just wanted to leave space for that. Okay. When the conversation dies down and the drinks are full again, you move back to your seats around the fire and look to Sal, who's been quiet this whole time, still lost in the story. You look to him expectantly, eagerly, and after a hushed moment, he continues. We left off in the city of Skyland, celebrating the 100-year peace, the biggest festival in all the lands, attended by thousands upon thousands of people, and all of us. Yriel, the Goblin Ranger, and Svetlana, the Furbolg Seraph, were the first to meet, drawn to the fried deliciousness of Padre's potatoes like moths to a particularly scrumptious flame.
Scrumptious.
Maz, an old acquaintance of Yriel's and a fairy guardian, joined them both in company and in the indulgence of a perfectly fried potato. As you munch the crunchy pieces of heaven, Yriel noticed someone watching Pazu, her feline companion. With a little coaxing, you met Hilo, a clank bard with a curious disinterest in the food you were enjoying. Then, Maz noticed someone watching you, a daemon hiding in a dark alley. Or so it appeared. On closer inspection, Maz noticed that the daemon was actually a ribbit hiding behind an illusion. After performing some party tricks to try to lure this new friend out, you managed to convince Bogha-Froise, a ribbit sorcerer, to join you. Maz even offers them the ultimate welcome gift, a piece of potato. But Bogha misses and sticks their tongue straight to Maz's face instead. Friends met and potatoes eaten. You explored the rest of the festivities, doing surprisingly well at every single game you encountered.
What do you mean surprisingly?
You won so often and so easily that the workers running the games began to suspect that there might be trickery afoot, and they asked you to move along.
You got
So move along you did to the big amphitheater to the north of town. As you found your seats and the trumpets blared, the herald of the square stepped up to announce the official beginning of the 100-year peace celebration. As he did, a young girl in tattered clothing stumbled onto the stage and said one word before collapsing. Help. What would you like to do?
We are all sitting in our seats, correct?
Correct. You are sitting approximately, if we're looking at this image here, I believe you are sitting right about here. So midway back, not all the way back, but kind of dead center, maybe a little off to one of the sides. And a bunch of people in front of you.
Does there appear to be a medic or something that is down in the arena area to help the girl?
Would you like to check?
Yes.
All right. Why don't you make a instinct roll?
So 9 plus 7 is 16 plus 1, 17 with hope.
All right. Take a hope. And in in your looking around for someone rushing to help, you don't really see anyone moving. Everyone seems kind of frozen in their seats, not really sure what to do.
Yriel, do you mind if I go rush down there and help this girl? It seems no one else is going to help her.
It does seem that you're quite compelled to offer assistance. I wouldn't stand in the way.
Okay. I would run down to the arena and I would try to lift her up and see if she is conscious.
She does not appear to be currently conscious.
I would place my hands on her shoulders and cast Sparing Touch to clear 2 hit points from her.
Okay. As you place your hand on the girl, the Herald of the Square actually rushes over to you because he was right there, and he kind of swats your hand away and says, "There's no need for that. We have medics," and he starts to lead you to the medic. I guess we'll say medic tent, which is a little bit northeast from where you are, right about here. He leads you northeast, and you follow. Well, I guess, do you follow him carrying the girl?
Yes.
Okay. Are the rest of you staying in your seats?
Bogha will kind of scurry along behind.
Okay.
At this point, I imagine the small dwarf thing, small dwarf illusion has kind of faded.
Okay.
Just see a little frog person waddling along at a speed.
I love it.
What time of day is it now?
It is late morning.
Late morning. Okay. That doesn't help me.
Do you need more specific?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Sorry.
Let's see. I think Yriel turns to Maz and says, maybe we should have a look around, see if there's anything out of the ordinary, anything suspicious. We've seen some things.
Okay.
Want to keep an eye on what's going on.
All right. Would you, in that case, like to make an instinct roll? And Maz, would you like to help?
Yes, I would, because Maz was having the same exact thought.
Okay.
Was looking around and seeing if there's anything that we, notice that may seem out of place or something that may be of concern.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do we both roll? How does that work?
The way advantage works is Yriel, you're going to roll your duality dice, and Maz, you will roll a d6, and you're going to add the result of that d6 to Uriel's roll.
A d6 is like the regular dice, right?
Right.
That everyone
Yes.
thinks about.
Correct.
Okay.
The QB one.
Cute.
That's
Not square.
a 17 with fear.
17 with fear.
How would you like an extra 5?
All right, a 22 with fear. So that's a very good roll. That's a very good roll, but you do roll with fear. So
Does the fear go to Yriel or me?
I take fear. I'm the only one who has fear as a resource. You guys have hope.
All
Okay.
of the fear are his.
Right. You guys have
All
hope.
our fear are belong to him.
Just like
'Cause my-
you have hope, he has fear.
Correct.
My thing does say whenever I roll with fear, I put a token on my card
That
for my Seaborn.
this would be her roll.
Her roll. Okay. That's all I'm making sure. Okay.
But I mean, good looking at your abilities for those sorts of things. We definitely want to utilize those. All right, Yriel, as you look around, you you notice a lot of different reactions from people. Some people are kind of looking around, wondering what this could be. Some people are annoyed that this is interrupting the celebration. Some people are kind of getting up and moving along, and you notice a figure in a black cloak, kind of gold-lined black cloak, who is standing off to the side. Doesn't seem particularly interested in the girl or anything that happened, but might be watching you. You look to Maz to try to point this out, and you look back, and the figure's gone. But other than that,
Maz.
you don't notice.
Maz? Did you see that?
I mean, I'm going to say I'm a seasoned adventurer who's, and a kind of astute observer. So I'm going to say, yes, I did see that figure with the cloak with the gold line cloak, we said?
Right.
Yes, with the gold line cloak kind of sitting off to the side. Yes, and that, I believe, if I can remember right, that is the same figure that I think that we had seen as we were walking through the markets earlier in the day.
You had noticed that we were being followed by such a figure earlier.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure you saw it this time too.
Yes, and I think that's the same figure. And did you see anywhere that this figure may have gone off to?
I didn't. It was there one moment and gone the next.
Do I mean, I want to say I've got a sense that the figure went off in a particular direction. Can I say that, or is that something that I need to?
I think you would have to make your own roll to determine that. So why don't you go ahead and make an instinct roll?
I've got that is not 7 with hope.
Well, take a hope. You do catch a glimpse of the figure disappearing, but in the mess of people, everybody. I mean, there's just so many people around. You don't, other than they went vaguely south from you. You don't have a clear picture of where they went.
And where's the medical tent again?
Medical tent is north-ish.
Okay.
So that is where Svetlana is following the Herald of the Square, carrying the girl.
I think Yriel, I feel like maybe we should go and pursue, I think, Svetlana to make sure that everything's okay, because I'm somewhat concerned about this figure who appears to be, following us. I don't necessarily, I think, get a sense of, malice, but concern, because you don't know who that is or what's going on, to go find out what's happening with this person who was unconscious or seemed unconscious. Would you care to accompany me?
Yes, that's a good idea. Let's try to stay together.
Hilo's kind of looking back and forth between all of the different groups of people and is really confused about which way to go.
Okay.
I kind of gesture backwards towards, Hilo and give him, just kind of like a shake of my wing, really indicating the direction that we should go in. Kind of, motioning over towards the medical tent where I would think that he would have seen Svetlana go in that direction with the, I guess, like herald, right, off towards the medical tent. And then get up and start to kind of like use my wings to lift off slightly and then sort of walk into that direction. Then I turn back to see who's following me.
Hilo kind of shrugs and it's like strange celebrations here and just wanders off following the injured person toward the medical thing if he can get that way.
Get that way, no problem.
Excellent. And where's Bogha right now? Bogha was in the stands, right?
You were all together before Svetlana kind of rushed off to help. So
Bogha said they were following Svetlana.
That's right. Okay.
Perfect. So all of you gather in the medical tent, which is just kind of a medical tent in name. It's a building, but festivals like this have something called a medical tent. So they leaned in. And inside the building, it's a small room. It's pretty warm. It doesn't seem like it's really, really well. The air's not circulating very well. There are a good deal of people in there, people who have maybe had a little bit too much to drink or maybe had one too many of Padre's potatoes. And as the rest of you enter, you see Svetlana going through a door in the back to what you will find out, I guess, if you approach, is a small back room with a little cot. And that is where Svetlana is following the herald.
I would lay the girl down on the cot. Is she still unconscious?
She is still unconscious, and the herald of the square quickly calls in one of the medical staff who, frankly, were not prepared for any kind of activity at the at the announcement. It was supposed to be a minute or two, and then everybody was supposed to move on to festivities, so they were situated elsewhere. But a nurse quickly comes in to help.
I would say to the nurse, what do you think happened? She just came out and she said help, and then she collapsed.
The nurse leans in and kind of checks some vitals, checks I guess vitals is probably about all I need to say there, and turns around and goes to a little cabinet on the wall and opens the cabinet up and pulls something out. You don't really see what it is, but puts it under the girl's nose, and with a breath, she is all of a sudden wide awake, eyes burst open, and she appears to be incredibly frightened.
What is your name?
She looks up at you and kind of blinks a few times. She's still recovering from having passed out, and in a quiet voice, she tells you her name is Amara.
Amara, it is nice to meet you. I am Svetlana.
She gives you just a little smile.
Do you know what happened? Why you collapsed?
Me and my brother, my brother, we were playing in the trees. We were playing in the trees, and he heard something, and he wanted to go look, and I said, no, you shouldn't do that. It's not safe. And he doesn't listen to me. So he rushed on ahead, and I was still kind of pushing my way through the trees. They were really thick. And right as I was about to push my way out, I saw someone grab him. And I was going to go help, but I could see him through the trees, and he looked at me and just said, "Run." So I did.
It is probably wise. They would have taken you too.
They tried to chase me. They tried to chase me, but I'm really fast. I'm the fastest one in my grade.
You did well. How many were chasing you?
I don't know. They were big and loud. I don't know.
Yeah. And where was this at? In the forest, but where at?
The forest that way, and she you know what, that wouldn't really work. I was gonna say she points, but she doesn't know where she is. The forest down to the east. The forest to the east of the city.
Bogha's going to take this opportunity to nudge Svetlana and get her to crouch down so I can whisper.
Okay.
That's kind of what they look like.
Amara,
Yes.
what did the people look like that took your brother?
They were wearing big cloaks. Like it's too warm to be wearing something like they were wearing a lot of clothes, and the clothes had like a symbol on it.
What did that look like?
It looked like a knife.
And did they say anything?
I ran too fast. They tried to yell to me to stop, but maybe I should have stopped. Maybe if I stopped, Tommy would be okay. Oh God, I hope he's okay.
No, you did the right thing, Mother. If you would have stopped, then they would have just had both of you, and no one would have known that you were missing. Where are your parents?
She thinks about that for a second and nods a little bit, but it's reassuring, but doesn't necessarily make her feel better.
Yeah. Where are your parents, child?
They are. We don't live in the city. We live in the outskirts of the city. We live by the forest, and we play in the forest all the time. But they are off. They are off out of town and just kind of left us alone to. It's always been fine before.
How old are you?
12.
Oh,
But
your parents
I'm
left you alone?
I'm a big 12. I work around the house all the time. I work in the fields, and I work at the market.
Yes, I can see you're very responsible. Everybody else? Has everybody else come in the room at this point? Jin and
Yeah, I think
Raz and
we're
Yriel.
all here, yes, watching now.
Do you all have any questions for her?
How old was your brother that was taken?
He's 9. But he's strong. He works too. I mean, he can defend himself, but not Not like this.
Well, I would gesture over to the herald and be like, is there anyone who can watch over her if we go to look for her brother?
The herald tells you, yes, of course. The nurses will keep an eye on her and make sure she is okay.
What do you all think? I think we really need to go right away to see if we can find her brother.
Bogha looks a little bit apprehensive, but then kind of puts like a brave-ish face on and like nods a little bit.
Hilo seems to be like taking notes of some sort on a small bit of paper, and he's nodding.
And then Maz looks over towards Yriel and I'm gonna say it wrong. Pazu? Pazu. It's Pazu.
It is
Right.
Pazu. Yes.
Pazu. And looks towards both Yriel and Pazu for an indication of where we should go, but knowing that this is probably exactly what's going to happen, and somehow it also feels both right and important at the same time. I mean, Pazu looks into it.
Maz, having known Pazu, for a while, knows the look. And Pazu is always up for an exploration. So Yriel agrees. Wouldn't want to split the group up at this point. We don't want our sweet but a bit naive Svetlana running off into trouble over there. So we'll keep an eye on her.
Are you saying this out loud or are you doing this?
I thought it was more of an unspoken thing between the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah. We got this.
Maz, am I correct in understanding that you used to live here, that you might know the area?
Yes, I did live here a time ago, and although the town has changed as much as some things change, some other areas stay the same. And so from the medical tent, we could... did we ever get an idea of where... Because you said east, so I mean there's like... I'm clicking on things and nothing's happening. Hold on.
There you go.
Like,
yeah, so
right there, right?
One of the things that you know, Maz, and honestly probably most of you would be aware of this, is you're on an island in the sky. So anything off of the...
Now I'm singing Weezer.
Yeah,
Lucy in the Sky with Islands. What?
I thought Weezer as well when I said it. It was not intentional. But you know that in order to get to an island in the sky, you have to travel up, and to leave, you have to travel down. So when the girl said east, one of the things that you would know is on the east side of Skyland, there are essentially exits from Skyland via different paths. So one path is a very steep, very treacherous walking path. One is an elevator that essentially takes you up and down, but costs some gold. And then the third, for the ultra wealthy, is an actual a little sky ship that will ferry you to and from Skyland, and you have multiple options for how you would like to travel.
So I'd continue that, that there's multiple ways to get off this island. And although some are for only those of means, others are for those with a sense of adventure and, for those who want a bit more of a challenge, while the last one, is for more of the common people, but, perhaps could still be beyond the means of some. And so I would say we should walk over there and I would say to start with the treacherous path down, because I think that looking around at this band of adventurers, I can kind of see, or this band, that it looks like they are both likely ready for it and can, think on their feet. Although I kind of look back towards Bogha with some concern with the look of apprehension I saw earlier and his smaller, I guess, froggy stature. But knowing that, he's going to be adept on those feet and can hop around. And it's kind of point towards the eastern direction and use my wings to sort of turn myself over there and to start to motion in that direction and say, we can move on and we can help this girl.
Yes. I think we should start by where they last saw him and see if we can get an indication of which direction. Whether they went to the traitor's path or the other one. But yes, I think that's probably most likely that they went by the treacherous path because that's probably the least traveled.
Plus, with all these people in the city, the elevator is going to be very busy.
Um,
I'm not into crowded elevators, okay?
But before you leave, Amara grabs your sleeve, Svetlana, and looks up at you with big eyes and just says, Please find him. He's my only brother, and sometimes I don't like him, but I do love him.
Of course. We will do our best, and we will return him home safely.
Do you promise?
I promise I will try to the best of my ability. And not one little bit less. I promise you that.
Her brow wrinkles a little bit, but she gives you a nod. So do you leave the medical tent?
Just as we're, looking around the medical tent, sorry, words, I take a glance around and try to see, especially in the darker corners and, perhaps the shadows and the little crinkles where, the tent probably separates, because cloth can't go around the entire thing. And just take that one last glance before we start to work our way out and see if I notice, any figures that I've seen before within the medical tent. And I'll use some astute observer as well to see if anything pops up.
You do have to spend a hope to use that.
Yeah.
And then you would need to roll for instinct.
Gosh, man. Okay, this is the opposite of last time. I roll because it's just, is it plus, because that's +1, right? Because it's just my +1.
Correct.
So it'd be a 7 with fear.
7 with fear. Okay. You see a lot of people you've seen before because you just walked through this section of the tent just a few moments ago. But none of them are who I presume you're probably looking for. None of them are of particular interest. It's people on cots not feeling well. It's people attending to the people on cots, and you don't see anyone else.
I start to motion my way towards, sort of the exit in the eastwardly direction.
Before we go, I would call the nurse over and ask her, is there any chance that you could part with any healing potions or anything while we make this possibly perilous journey to find her brother?
She looks at you, and she's kind of like an older woman, a very, I guess, matronly figure, and she gives you a big sigh because she's seen a lot of people today looking for a lot of things, and she looks you in the eye, and let me see here a second. She likes what she sees. She sees something in you that, I don't know, breaks through the kind of the weariness of working with people, serving people all the time. And she reaches into her little, I guess an apron is probably the word. She reaches into her apron and puts something in your hand. And when you open your hand, you notice that you have a health potion.
Ooh.
Thank you so much. I will make sure this goes to good use. I put it in my pack.
By the way,
And
this is a minor health potion, to be clear.
And I take
All right,
out.
all right, GM. GM flex.
I don't know how to add another one in my equipment. Manage equipment. While I'm doing this, I would just probably pull something up out of my pack, maybe like a little bottle cap or something, and I lick my finger and I put it inside the bottle cap, and there's a little like dot of light, kind of like a little LED light kind of looking thing in the center. And I give it to her and I say, may the light of Kor shine upon you. Thank you for your assistance this day.
She looks down at it and back up at you and looks down at it again and then kind of clasps her hand around it and then without a word turns back to her work. As you are leaving the medical tent, the Herald of the Square quickly rushes up to you and in hushed tones tells you that as the speaker for the event, he would like to impart to you that it is imperative that this situation be handled quietly. He tells you that the 100-year peace celebration is the worst possible time for a ruckus. If the people believe that Queen Margaret and Prince Amatus cannot even control their own festivals, then how long will it be until they lose faith until people lose faith in other aspects of their leadership?
Absolutely. We will handle this with the utmost discretion. And
Thank you.
I think I would just start walking out following Maz.
He watches you go.
As that happens, I sort of turn back towards Svetlana, like, acknowledging that I heard what was said, and then knowing and saying, that that's to be expected in this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy.
Hilo
Yeah.
looks guiltily at his notes and is like, does that mean we can't tell the story?
And Maz, I let out a chuckle and say, no, it does not. It does not mean you cannot. But that's what they would like here. And that is also why I left this place. And Maz sort of starts to continue to walk along, sort of indicating that is the end of that piece of the conversation. That's all I'd have to say on that, for right now. And continues outward towards the east.
Well, Hilo looks relieved and follows.
So then now we're walking, I guess, on sort of... I guess from there it'd be sort of like street. I'm guessing not as busy as perhaps the one that we started off with earlier with the busy sort of marketplace.
Yeah, you're kind of walking by almost where you all first met. You've kind of done essentially a full circle around the center of the city, because you started in the east, which is where you got your food. You circled around southwest sort of and played some games, and then went northwest to the amphitheater. So you've kind of almost gone in a full circle if you're headed towards one of the paths out of Skyland.
And then as we're walking, I sort of look around and I kind of feel, sort of like naturally, clearly a habit, almost unconscious, just making sure that the things that I have are present, that, acknowledging, with my gestures that I still have both my weapons by my side and the various equipment, and then turn back and look towards, each individual that we're with, sort of saying, do we have everything that we need? Is there anything else as we journey outward that you think anything that we need to restock, or anything that would be important for this, I guess I'd say journey or excursion and trip?
I have 2 health potions, which we can use, and some basic traveling supplies. But other than that, I don't have much in the way of adventuring equipment.
And Maz sort of glances backwards towards the rest of the party.
Hilo does not understand the look at all, having never actually adventured before, and notes the gesture, and he just repeats the gesture like he's like feeling himself like he's preparing stuff, just because he thinks it's a greeting, like something we do before we set off.
Is there anything from Yriel or Bogha?
Yriel is always prepared. Always, spends a lot of time traveling, so keeps, a small amount of personal possessions, and they're always in the bag ready to go. Or strapped on, whatever the case may be.
All right, well, then Maz keeps then walking on towards the east, and waits for the rest of the group, or kind of follows along with the rest of the group, because naturally, you can kind of see that there's a direction everyone's walking in, and that's what it feels like at the moment, that we're all sort of going towards the same end to get down towards the ports and the exit areas that Maz does know well and has been there before.
And I think that Svetlana, seeing that Bogha is a little bit unsteady on their feet, would maybe offer a hand down for them to hold on to while they walk. They seem to be a little bit dizzy, maybe from the heat of the day. So she offers her assistance walking in treacherous terrain.
Okay. We just lost Eris, so
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, that's why it's perfect why Svetlana's holding their hand.
yeah.
Just dragging them along.
Yeah. Eris said they're going to try to restart really quick.
Okay. Take a quick break. Everybody stretch your legs,
Yeah.
fill your drinks.
Ooh, it's a good time for it.
Yeah. Take a quick break there, and we will be right back. Should we get back into it?
Okay. Sorry, where were we?
We were, I believe, everybody was heading to.
We're heading into the elevator, as I recall.
You were heading to the east of Skyland to travel. Well, presumably to travel downward to.
Which one was on the west? Did you say?
Which path?
Yeah,
They were all east side, so
they were all east
like,
side path. Okay.
top one is the kind of walking path. And when I said treacherous, what I meant by treacherous was it's just not well maintained. Like, it's not the most dangerous path you've ever been on, but it is. You are walking up a steep, or I guess in this case, walking down a steep embankment, rather than taking the actual maintained by the gold that it costs to ride it elevator, or the crates of gold that it costs to ride the ship that will the airship that will take you down. So it's not the most dangerous thing in the world by any stretch.
Could I ask what that elevator looks like?
Yeah, you absolutely could. So are we envisioning that you guys are at essentially you're over here on the east, just kind of looking at your different options? Is that what we're?
We were actually not planning on taking the elevator. I was being sarcastic. Sorry. But I was curious because I was trying to figure out which way I would have come up. And so I'm pretty sure I would have used the elevator before, because elevators are cool. But
I mean, if Teacher wants to know what the elevator is, I mean, it's essentially it is a large wooden platform with kind of wooden side rails around to make sure the people who are paying money don't fall off. And it is ropes and pulleys, and there is an attendant on the elevator who helps you on and make sure people aren't, I don't know, horse playing, I guess is probably the right word. They are very concerned with making sure that the people on the elevator are given a smooth ride where nobody has any reason to complain or sue.
Because customers falling off and plummeting to their deaths is bad for business.
Correct.
Oddly, yes. Isn't that weird?
Since there is an attendant, I wonder if we should go up to them and ask them if they've seen the people in the cloaks.
Is that something you say out loud, or are you thinking it?
I wonder if we should go and talk to the attendant if they've seen these characters in the cloaks. What do you think?
Okay, I do need like point of order here. Did the girl run so far from the forest that she climbed the path to the city?
No, the forest was in the city. It was in
Because
the
we're leaving the
northeast.
city.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if we need to go to the forest to see if we could see a direction that they went.
The forest is outside of the city. Sorry if that was
Oh.
confusing. It was to the east of the city.
But so is it down?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I'll jump in and say that, that there's, trees and there's shrubbery and plants within the city, but certainly, nothing that any person would really look at and consider to be a forest, right? So as soon as the young girl mentioned that there was a forest, I knew immediately that it was going to be just outside of the city. And although the path is treacherous and, we're further up in the sky, it's not, an insurmountable journey to get down off of Skeesland.
Skyland.
Is that what we're saying? Skyland. Skyland,
Well, you
to
could
get
go
down there.
A local. This keeps missing the name.
Yeah. maybe sometimes, yeah, it's local slang, Skeesland, right? And up in Skyland, so that and looking at that young lady, you could certainly see that she'd be more than capable of making her way up that path. So,
is there reasons why she would travel all the way up to Skyland to get help?
Because
Rather
that's where all the
than...
people are.
But are her parents from Skyland? I think we asked where her parents were at.
They lived in a little farm just kind of off of the I guess we could say coast of Skyland.
Okay. Below.
So a lot
Skyland.
of the work that she would do would be bringing crops and things to Skyland.
Okay.
I'm sorry if that was unclear. Perhaps I didn't explain that too well.
No, you're fine. So, I think Svetlana would go up to the elevator attendant. Well, actually, Hilo, would you want to go and talk to the attendant? I think you might have some. You're more charming than I am.
I'm sorry, I missed that whole bit there.
No, you're fine. I was going to say that we should probably go talk to the elevator attendant.
Oh, right.
And I was wondering, since you're a pretty charming guy, if you would want to do that.
Charming guy. Hilo looks actually confused at that description of himself, but okay, but nods and goes and asks if they saw anybody, like a group of cloaked people, right? Or
Yes,
unusually cloaked people.
with a knife symbol on
A
their
knife symbol?
on
Yeah,
their
okay.
cloak.
So he'll go ahead and ask. And do I need to roll something for that?
the large Dracona, big dragon-looking elevator attendant, much taller than Hilo, looks down and kind of snorts just a little bit of flame out of its nose. Just kind of says, "What?"
Hilo's not used to looking up at people, so he's like kind of tilting his head at a weird angle, trying to see what he can see, and actually looking up the guy's nostrils.
Just scales and teeth is what you see.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, people like in cloaks, heavy clothing with this symbol on it, and he kind of like draws it out in the sand or dirt or whatever's on the ground.
I see lots of people. He kind of, the Dracona kind of leans down and squints at the symbol that you've drawn and thinks about it for a minute. You said cloaks?
Mm-hmm. Yes, cloaks.
Cloaks,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yes.
and he kind of mimes a cloak. Cloaks?
And so Hilo does the same thing. Yes. I'm not wearing one. I have a cape, but these are longer and they're bigger and warmer.
Warmer? Why would anybody be wearing something warm on a day like today?
That's why we thought you might have noticed.
You can tell he doesn't get asked a lot of questions. He doesn't really have... Basically, he has a lot of time to think, but he doesn't really do a lot of it, on his job. So he thinks about it for probably too long, then shakes his head. No, I haven't seen any cloaks. Everybody's wearing light clothing. It's hot.
Hilo, what did you hear?
Hilo comes back and tells he nods his thanks and is like, well, it was worth a shot. And he comes back to the group and explains that they haven't seen anything and this guy's not very helpful.
Should we try the ship, or do you think we should just cut our losses and go on the other path?
I think if people were chasing somebody, they didn't wait around for the airship to dock and pick them up.
That seems reasonable. They probably went the fastest way.
I look around, and do I see any sort of indication of where they might have gone? Any heavy footprints from big boots or fur from somebody's fur-lined coat? Anything?
Why don't you make me an instinct roll?
7 plus 8, 15 plus 1, 16. 16 with fear.
You look around and you see a lot of footprints. There are footprints going in every direction. Light ones, heavy ones. You can't tell if there are footprints that are relevant to what you are looking for. You do, however, notice as you're following some of these footprints, you notice that just as you look a certain direction, a black cloak seems to disappear around a corner.
I don't know. I don't see any indication of which direction that they went, but I imagine that Yriel is right. I think they would probably have gone down the path up here in the north.
I keep seeing this fellow, this individual in the black cloak. The same person keeps appearing, and I'm curious about who it is and what they want.
Yes, I have noticed that as well, and I saw him in the market as well when we were walking. I thought it was strange that he was somewhat following us with his gaze.
Yes, and Maz, and I saw him in the amphitheater. Them.
That's 3 times then.
Yes.
We should keep a lookout.
Yeah. Should we try to pursue them or go on down the path?
I think we have an urgent matter in finding the boy. I think that is maybe more urgent than the cloaked figure, but I think we should be careful. We don't know if they intend to harm us.
Okay,
Do you agree?
sure. Makes sense.
Checks out, everybody. Looking around, I overhear the conversation and jump in and saying, you know, I sense no malice from this individual. However, they have been following us, and so we want to continue to look out. And I look around. Is there any, you know, because I'm guessing we're kind of like over right around here-ish, let's say.
Okay.
And are there any boxes, anything else nearby that would give me a little bit more elevation where I could kind of sort of hop and or look around?
Oh yeah, you could climb up on any number of things. There's boxes, there's stands, there's chairs, there's people if you're feeling particularly agile.
So
That
Maz
guy over there is very tall.
flaps her wings and then sort of hops up onto Hilo's shoulders, knowing Hilo's also quite tall, and uses that as a sort of springboard to leap a little bit further into the air, flapping her wings to get up on a larger stack of boxes, and then keeps kind of hopping up and up, and then as Maz lands on one, just goes like, oh, it's that toe again, like can't believe that one toe. And you know, notices that fleeting sense of pain, but it doesn't stop Maz from what she's doing, and then takes a look around as everyone's talking just to see if there's anything within sight related to that figure or even anything else, you know, that symbol, or anybody else in a black cloak.
Why don't you make an instinct roll?
All right, we got a 16 with fear.
As you are climbing the boxes, you put your foot down firmly onto a box that was people didn't set these here to support weight, and your foot goes straight through and gets caught inside the box, and perhaps a little distracted by the pain of your foot going straight through a box. You don't see anything particularly of interest. There's people. There's no one seems that you can see seems to be taking a particular interest in you. It is people at a giant celebration doing what people do. Being with their friends, being with their family, eating food, drinking. Nothing catches your eye.
I just realized that we didn't ask her what the boy's name was or what he looked like.
It's fine. He's 9. How many 9-year-olds could there be?
Didn't
I think they're going
Bill
to
say it was Tommy?
Bogha is 100% correct. His name is Tommy.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Well, then Maz pulls her foot out of the box and goes, it's the same foot with the same toe, under her breath, and then kind of hops down, gliding downward, glances up at Hilo and says, well, you know, thank you for the lift, but I think we're, you know, okay. And no one's, you know, I don't believe anybody's following us right now. That's why I think we should continue on after. Did they say Tommy out loud? Was that an out loud statement?
Amara did say her brother's name was Tommy. Yes.
Okay. Tommy, going after Tommy to find out more about what happened to poor Amara, and looks over towards the treacherous Skyland Way. I'm going to call it.
I love it.
Because I've been here before.
I love it.
Skyland
Yeah,
Way.
it's perfect.
There's like a sign, you know, it's like a wooden sign. It's like kind of like, you know, angled downward, and it says like Skyland Way, like down that way. Actually, a picture like an old Warner Brothers cartoon. That's what it feels like to me.
An old Warner Brothers cartoon. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like a hand painted sign with an arrow. Just
Yeah. Just. I don't know why it makes that sound. That doesn't seem very Daggerheart,
No.
but in my head it does.
I mean, it's our world. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So the Maz starts to walk towards said sign and path, and you know, kind of glances back and sees what the rest of the party does.
I would follow. Svetlana would follow. And
Yriel,
we're holding Bogha's hand as well.
Yeah. Yriel and Pazu follow Maz because Maz has, lived here previously. Clearly, knows most familiar with the path out.
Skyland Way.
Better write that down.
Hilo keeps glancing over at Pazu from time to time as if looking for confirmation that this is what they're supposed to be doing.
Pazu gives
Figuring
you
that
Pazu gives you the little
So-
just the little nod that only an animal can do,
just looking for confirmation from the sensible one of the group, I think, is really what that is.
Is everybody going down this path? Just want to make sure.
Yes. Well, I am.
I think so.
Okay. We are going to do this as a group action roll, just to kind of mess around with some of the systems here. So
Is that a thing?
yes,
That's a thing.
sure is. You better believe it is. You are going to, the party needs to nominate a leader, and each player would describe how they collaborate with the other players on the task. So who do you think would be the best at traversing a worn path?
You said it was a ridge, right? Because I have
it's a path down. It's a steep path down. So I think it's fair to call it a ridge.
I am actually from an area where there is lots of cliffs and ridges, so I'm very adept at these type of traversing. But my agility is low, so I don't know how that. I assume it is agility.
That'd be an agility roll. Yeah.
Yriel is fairly agile as these things go. And that seems, just based on the little descriptions under the attributes there, that's the closest thing I have that's
GM question.
for physical abilities.
Yes.
I do have that steady, which is advantage on rolls, traverse dangerous cliffs and ledges.
Correct.
So if we do a group roll, do I get advantage on that?
You would. Yes.
Okay.
And what is that? Sorry,
would roll,
explain. Well,
she would roll a d6 and add it to her results.
Well, that sounds pretty great. I'm thinking, because my agility is pretty high, and I've also got my Bayrat Acrobat experience that I could add on to that, but it would not be potential. So that would be a +4. Guaranteed, I guess, right? If I did both of those, but then you could get up to a +6.
So let's go a little bit more over how group rolls work. So
yeah,
with group action rolls, the leader rolls, and then everybody else rolls their duality dice as well. And anybody who succeeds will add +1 to the leader's roll. Anybody who fails will subtract 1 from the leader's roll.
Ooh.
So
I think Yriel should lead. She's been up here many times. She said she knows the path well.
I'm in on this party.
So the task is just getting down the hill.
correct.
Okay.
I mean, with Pazu, I'm like, what could go wrong, right? I mean, that cat's going to be able to hop and show us exactly where to go, is what I'm assuming. So
Pazu is the most sure-footed of all of us, I'm sure.
yes.
I'm sure.
I mean, I have wings and Pazu somehow better than me, right? I
Yep,
mean,
yep. Yeah, well, listen. You keep putting your toe in situations where it shouldn't be.
oh, that's a microcosm of the rest of life. Oh my god.
So GM, even though I'm helping, can I still use my study as part of my role?
That's a great.
It would be for your success,
That's
right?
a great question.
Yeah,
Yes.
it wouldn't add on to hers. It would add on to
Yes.
mine.
Yeah,
It would just mean you're more likely to get a +1.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in on this.
We'll allow it.
Good thing.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
So
You roll.
Yriel
Yriel.
is going to roll. Unless did you want to make Pazu the leader?
Can I do that?
According to your companion sheet, you can make a spellcast roll to connect with your companion and command them to take action.
I trust the cat.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Do you have a good agility?
They have feline superiority. Do they need anything else?
We'll see.
Okay, so then what does it mean? Spellcast roll?
I believe each of your classes has a different spellcast trait. A trait that you use to make a spellcast roll.
Mhm.
So for example,
Mine is strength.
mine is finesse for my character that I've created. Yours is agility, believe it or not.
Okay.
So it's under effects and features, by the way.
Effects and features. Okay.
Yeah, it took me a little while to find it as well.
This is
I don't see mine. I'm guessing you
thought
don't have it
mine
because I'm a
was-
physical
You
fighter.
You might not have a spellcast option. So
Yeah, I don't think I do.
Oh, I see it. Okay. It's on mine, it's under the beast bound subclass.
yes.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say. mine
spellcast is
too.
agility.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm making an agility roll to give Pazu instructions, which is entirely fair for a cat, let's be honest.
Correct.
Can I succeed in giving instructions to a cat? Okay, that's a 4 with hope.
It's a 4 with hope. Okay. And you.
And
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and assume that's not a success.
That we're tumbling down to our deaths right now and the game's over. Like that's the end right there. Like we all none of us made it. Like
Pazu sits back on his haunches and licks his paw
Okay.
while his tail kind of flickers, and that's that. Yeah, you're cute.
Pazu refuses to be the leader in this group role.
Yes.
Who would like to be the next nominated? Who is the vice leader?
Is that still falling on me? Sorry.
I think so.
Okay.
So you are going to roll just agility again. By the way, take a hope. You still rolled with hope that last
I
time.
did do that.
Okay.
And also, I mean, I don't think it mattered, but if my spell cast is also agility, so I would have added 2 to that.
Correct.
So it's still only a 6.
6 would have been 6. Yep.
Okay. So I shrug because, you know, Pazu's gonna do what he does. That's how cats are. And so I approach myself to the start of the descent, and I rolled 20 with fear,
Jeez.
22 with fear.
Okay, so you approach the edge and you look down, and as you do, your foot slips, but you catch yourself. Now we need the rest of the group to roll as well to see whether or not they are adding or subtracting. You have to describe how you are contributing to the group roll.
I am a 12 with fear, and that's including my Ridgeborn study +1. I would say I am creating a balance for the less agile creatures because I'm pretty sturdy as a cow.
Sorry, what was your number? I'm sorry, I was reading about reaction rolls. One more time, please.
12.
12. Okay.
12 with fear.
12 with fear. All right. You as you look over, you kind of lean on Yriel, and for a second time, Yriel teeters over the edge, but you grab her.
Good thing you're so sturdy.
Even though I was almost the one that knocked you off.
All right. We need everybody else to make their roll as well, or share.
I rolled a 17 with hope, and then is this an agility roll?
Yes.
So then it's +2 agility, so it'd be 19.
Okay. Take a hope.
With hope.
Take a hope.
Gotta hope.
You.
And so.
Yeah. How do you help?
Nope. No, Maz basically just kind of leaps right over where it seems like there's actually nothing there to catch her. But then starts flapping her wings to then provide an extra set of hands and sort of sees that Svetlana had already grabbed Yriel, but motions her hands upwards to make sure that, if somebody was going to continue to fall, that Maz would be able to at least push them back and support them while they're flying above. And then once Maz sees that Yriel has sure footing, begins to slowly sort of glide downward, providing additional support from the outside edges and taking advantage of her flying ability.
All right, so all of you are making your way down. You've had a few slips, almost taken some wrong steps, but so far so good. You are, I'm not going to say halfway, but you are partway down and no absolute tragedies.
Hilo continues to kind of follow Pazu's lead despite them not leading, which means he's hanging back from everybody and pausing. And then kind of meandering down only as Pazu sees fit to. So he kind of misses that people are stumbling for the moment. Totally oblivious. But continues down with a 12 with hope.
12 with hope. Great. Take a hope.
Is 12 a good thing? So, I guess Hilo describes how he's trying to help.
We don't know if that's a good thing.
Hilo helps.
Hilo
helps by staying out of the way. It sounds like the rest of you are falling over each other trying to make it down the hill, and Hilo is just kind of meandering.
Eris said that it's getting worse on their end.
No.
I mean, I'm assuming that Bogha just got a nat 20 and is just crushing it right now, is what happened. I mean, that's what I thought I heard.
You mean a double 12?
Right.
Sure, that too. That makes more sense with how dice work. Sure, yes, that would be better. Or you could just get a critical, right? If you just got doubles, right? That's like the critical.
Yeah, any doubles, even double ones.
Any doubles, but yeah, double 12 would be the best of the doubles, right?
There's no.
I think it's all the same. Yeah.
A crit is a crit.
It's still the best. It's like 2 dozen donuts.
8 with hope. Okay.
Ooh, I'd like a donut.
Bogha will take a hope. Bogha rolled 8 with hope. And Bogha will, because Bogha was a little tentative, will be clinging very closely to Svetlana and Yriel. And in the times that people are a little close to the edge, we'll be getting a little close to helping helping gravity do what gravity does. But with all of your rolls added together, you make it down Skyland Way with no real tragedy to it. You make it down safely, even if there were a few moments that kind of quickened your heart a little bit. Sorry to keep pausing here, but do we want to take a few minutes and see if we can figure something out for Eris? I'd really like Eris to be involved.
I was actually just waiting for something terrible to happen, was what I thought was going to happen. That's why I'm like sitting here like, he has something up his sleeve. I see that sneaky look. It's that sneaky Michael look. I can tell.
Edge of our seats for sure.
It's like when I said something and he's going to make a pun out of it, and I'm just waiting for him to deliver.
Outside of the game for a moment, Pazu definitely would have just jumped off. You guys were all dead.
And landed on her feet.
Difficulty wise, Pazu didn't clear very easy difficulty. That was a not a difficult. You guys could have all rolled negative, and Jen's roll or Yriel's roll would still have been fine. So let's take a minute and see if we can get Eris figured out. All right. So you, due to Yriel's sure-footedness and help from the party, you make it down the Skyland Way, nearly incident-free. You know, a few times there's a moment where one of you worries that something that you might fall. There's a few slips, but you catch each other, you help each other down. And you make it to the bottom of Skyland Way, out of the city, and in front of you, above you, obviously, is Skyland, but in front of you is a big copse of trees. A lot of trees, with a path leading in. A path leading in. You can tell that this is a section that has been traveled before. What do you do?
Hilo points and counts. There's 4 trees, so we know it's at least a forest.
Oh, Hilo.
Much like the I'm sorry, the ringmaster or whatever it was in the contest. I'm going to take a piece of gold every time it's bad.
Do we have a map for this, or
you're not there yet.
it's in a map in the mind? Okay.
You are currently looking at a forest.
I would say that Svetlana would be looking at the ground to see if she can see any trample marks, any broken twigs or leaves that would indicate that someone has walked through the forest.
You can absolutely see indications that people have walked through the forest. People use this path quite frequently.
Is anyone else worried that there may be an ambush or anything like that?
Hilo says, I wasn't until you said that. And he's like peering around everywhere like he could see something.
Are there other travelers on the path right now? I mean, the people coming and going from
Yeah, I mean,
Skyland?
you see people milling about. You know, people are walking towards you, heading towards the path you just came down to get up to the 100-year peace celebration. Nobody's really walking away from Skyland right now. You're kind of alone in that one because the center of activity is there. But yeah, you can see some people milling about. You know, they're in no particular hurry to get one place or another.
Is there only one clear path into the forest? Well, like, you know, traveled path. You know, does it look like there's any sort of like forks or anything else, or is it, you know?
There's one pretty clear path into the forest.
I'll say, you know, I look back towards Hilo and say, you know, that this is, you know, this path appears well trodden. I see, you know, a well-worn dirt path, right, going through the center of the forest, and given the, you know, density of the foliage, in the trees that, I think it's unlikely that there'd be an ambush in these parts. It seems that this is, a frequent thoroughfare, and given what I know about the area, that many people of different walks travel down this path, as it's one of the only ways that the average person can get up to Skyland. So I think that, we should move cautiously, but move forward.
I would agree with that. We see far into the forest, or is it obscured by trees or bins, things like that?
You can see into it, but pretty much what you see is a path and more trees.
I think that we should follow the path. Do you agree, everyone?
I agree. Who shall lead our way?
That was going to be my next question. What would be the order that you would travel?
I mean, I know who I'd love to see if they would travel in the front. And it's, of course, our trusty companion who, kind of left us hanging on the ledge up there. But may be able to guide us through the forest as Maz looks over towards Pazu.
Pazu.
Is, sorry.
It conveys with the look that it's not his fault. The rest of you are not sure-footed. Pazu is at home, in the more natural environments than in the city. So I would say he's not eager, but has no hesitation about moving down the path into the forest.
Okay, so Pazu is going to be taking the lead?
Sure. And then I stick close to Pazu all the
Okay,
time.
you will stick close to Pazu. All right. What else do we have? Where are people?
I think that I will be following behind Yriel and Pazu.
Okay.
And then given Bogha's, again, sort of, skittishness and things in general, I kind of motion Bogha, who seems to be developing a bond with Svetlana, and a sort of comfort, and protection kind of motions, Bogha forward, looking towards Bogha to see if, he accepts the invitation.
Bogha kind of looks around quickly and kind of darts forward a little bit towards more the center of the group.
Okay. So Bogha at the center, maybe near Yriel. Okay. What about Hilo and Maz? Where are you in relation?
Hilo gets distracted by the leaves and realizes people are walking off, and so ends up towards the back of the group.
Okay.
Not on purpose, just because, other things are there.
Okay.
And so he kind of hurries to catch up a little bit.
Okay.
But is clearly towards the back.
Okay.
Yeah. Seeing this, Yriel calls out to Maz. You bring up the rear. Keep an eye out back there.
Then Maz looks upward and simply gives a nod, knowing that that is the best spot for her, and that Yriel's, judgment in this case is exactly right. And starts to tail towards the back of the group while, keeping an eye out and looking around, comfortable but cautious, right? And always on the lookout.
Now, assuming I did this right, this is my first time doing this on Roll20. Assuming I did this right, do we see some things?
Oh, I see some things.
Can you only see certain things?
I only see certain things.
Yeah.
I see a black screen.
I do also.
If you zoom out, you might see more.
Yes,
You
hit
don't
the
get a
minus
dark
button.
I see
Nope.
the issue. Hold on just a second.
All the way zoomed out, I see a smaller
You should
black
now be
box.
fixed.
There we
You
go.
should now be fixed.
Now I see a corridor of things inside a black box.
dark vision.
I don't know why. Okay, hold on. Does that fix?
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay,
Got it now.
let me make sure. Sorry, there's a lot of setup on this end to make sure tokens. But I can preview as each of you. So,
I see a lightning bolt.
yeah, okay. I think from what I am seeing,
Okay.
you guys are roughly seeing you are in the forest, and you can see as far as your vision will allow you. Any kind of boundaries, just think of as trees. You're essentially
Fair enough.
just thick overgrowth of trees and things.
Thick overgrowth and shrubberies.
Correct. And another shrubberies. What would you like to do?
Sorry, I'm trying to move the characters to the bottom screen so I can actually see.
Right click lets you drag things around. So
Um,
So
ahead.
Bogha decides to have a little bit of fun. Little bit of fun here.
Love it.
Well, what passes for fun, and uses her illusions to create a small pair of antlers on her head.
Great. I love it. I love it. Oh, actually, you're using minor illusion? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Make a spellcast roll for me. Looks like you are using instinct for your spellcast roll.
So that is a 10 with fear.
10 with fear. You have successfully created antlers on yourself. Yeah, that's it.
Yay.
As we're walking along, Hilo kind of sees that Bogha has altered their appearance, and kind of to get his mind off of the whole, hey, we might be ambushed at any minute, starts telling a story about these people that wandered through the woods.
Okay.
And he's trying to rally everybody.
Okay.
Is what he's trying to do, so everyone can have that a D6 rally die that they can add to a roll later.
Okay.
And in the story, actually, these people get lost in the woods and find a house full of candy that they eat and go home. There's no witch in this story. It's just, they eat a bunch of the candy and go home because it's a good story.
That's a good story. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right. So each of you now has a rally die that is a D6. So keep a D6 nearby. And anytime you make an action roll, a reaction roll, or a damage roll, or if you'd like to clear stress, you can roll that die and do it for one of those. You have to use it before the end of the session or it gets blown away.
Should we roll now or before we use it?
You have to spend it to roll it, is what it says. So when you are ready to use it, you will roll it. So again, action roll, reaction roll, damage roll, or to clear stress.
Okay.
What else would you like to do?
So the dark spaces on the map, is that because it's too dark or is that because there's trees there blocking the view?
That's just trees that kind of obscure your view. In general, it's pretty sunny. You are able to see pretty clearly on the path, but trying to look through the trees, I mean, you could make an instinct roll if you would like to try to look through the trees, but essentially the trees are very thick, and in between the trees is brush and weeds, and it's certainly something you could try.
Sure, I will try
Okay.
to look around, kind of get a bearing on our surroundings.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, gee.
Actually, a nat 20 plus 1, so 21.
On your duality die, you
Wow.
rolled a nat 20.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I was rolling a d20.
You know what? You know what?
on
You know what? You don't get a hope. You don't give me any fear, but that's such a good roll. I don't want to ruin people's day.
Oh no, it's fine.
He's breaking the rules. He's breaking
Hey,
the rules.
I am the rules, buddy.
Oh,
Wow. Favoritism.
No. I re-rolled. I got a 16 or a 17 with hope.
Okay. Glancing around, you look really close. You kind of even go up to the trees over here, and sorry, you said with hope. Make sure you take a hope. You can very clearly see trees. Just very clearly, you can see the forest and the trees. So, you can't see.
congratulations.
Yeah, you can't see much other than the trees that are around you. You may catch a glimpse of some movement, but you're not sure, and you don't know what it is.
Svetlana, you see anything out there?
Just trees.
Me too.
Maybe some bugs. I think we should maybe keep pushing forward. I mean, keep an eye out, but I don't see anything yet.
This mean is Pazu walking on their own?
Pazu, now that we're into the forest, is by Yriel's side. Maybe her hand kind of rests, on the back of his neck or something, and they're moving forward, not slowly, but aware of their surroundings as they progress forward on the path of the forest.
Okay. You guys tell me where you would like to go.
Is it
So,
always single file?
It doesn't have to be. I was just this is
Okay.
generally the order that you came in. It's not exactly right because it's hard to fit that many people in that small of an entrance to a forest, but
Just large people, aren't we?
I don't appear to be able to move Pazu.
hold up.
What the?
it appears that there might be 2 paths.
Can you move Pazu now, Jen?
Yes.
Also, just a little Roll20 note. Please don't move your characters inside of the tree areas without discussing it, because it might break something. So,
Okay.
Noted.
Which path should we take?
Um,
I saw something move.
I just also saw something move way off in the distance. Maz kind of points over towards, I guess that'd be like, what, the southeast? Because is north up on this map?
yeah, we'll say north is up.
North is up. Maz points over there and, sort of, did anybody see that movement over towards the east or southeast?
Did a large brown mass moved across the copse?
Bogha starts looking a little bit more afraid.
Hilo saw nothing and is so obliviously happy. It's fine. Ignorance is bliss.
Is there any way to discern which path we should take? I mean, obviously we just saw something move over there. I don't know if that means we should follow that way or not.
Is the path towards the southeast just as well worn, or does it look a little bit less trodden?
In general, the whole area kind of looks like it's a people have made different paths over the years just by wandering, and from looking, you don't notice any physical difference based on direction.
Whatever we do, I don't think we should split up. We should all go one way or the other.
I agree. I think we should stay together.
I agree.
I'm team always left.
All right, let's do it then.
Is left? Yeah, there. Okay, so that way. Yeah.
So by left, you mean right.
Well, it's left from perspective.
Yeah, if we're facing south, left would
Yeah.
You're right.
The in
No, I'm
character
left.
left.
No.
Yes.
Stage left.
Is no, or Jen, what's your character's name?
Pazu?
No, your
Yriel.
character.
Yriel?
Yriel. Is Yriel left-handed? He asks aloud as they go to the left.
Probably. Okay. Pazu and Yriel have made their way a little further down this path, and we see the shape ahead of us again. It appears to be very rar.
As you turn the corner,
I don't
It
see
looks
nothing.
fuzzy
as
and
you turn
huggy.
the corner, Pazu and Yriel come face to face with a bear. Large,
Nope.
dark fur, powerful claws, and a little bit of a crazy look in its eyes.
Maz doesn't see anything, so Maz is in the back.
Mm, okay. Yriel is like, whoa, it's a bear. Should we try to back away slowly? We're not here looking for bears. Do we need to go down that path?
Yeah, I think maybe we should go the other way.
The bear thus
Or
thus
there's
far
a
does
path.
not seem very interested in you.
I feel like that might change if we try to approach it.
Probably.
What range would you say that bear is from us?
I would say that bear is. Let me pull up my ranges.
Yeah, I don't remember how the ranges
Yeah.
work here,
I
honestly.
gotta be honest.
Well, it's like melee, very close.
It is.
close.
I would say
Right.
close. It is a close.
Hey
Is it
guys,
close?
I see everyone stop. What do you see up there?
The bear's ears
The-
kind of twitch.
Bogha lets out a little beep in terror.
Now, Bogha, what's going on? I don't see anything.
Um,
Bear.
Why are you guys shushing
Bear,
me?
Bear. Mass. Bear.
Oh, sorry.
Hilo actually steps forward real quickly and attempts to put the bear to sleep with a slumber,
Ooh, interesting.
which I make a spellcast roll on success. The target creature falls into deep sleep until they take damage, or the GM spends fear to awaken them. And oh my gosh, I got a 20 with fear.
Oh, yeah. The bear looks at you, and
Oh, excuse me, a 22.
a 22 with
for
fear.
my
Okay.
bonus.
The bear, the bear.
The bear.
The beers.
The bear looks at you and reaches out with its claw. You see the sharp claws, like these have been filed down on trees into fine points. You see it close to your face, and as the claw swings near to you, the bear just falls. Eyes closed. You have successfully put the bear to sleep.
Hilo actually wipes the back of his hand against his brow, even though he doesn't sweat.
It's just-
I love it.
Hey guys, what's going on with that bear?
Mass, please.
He's resting.
I
He's
think,
now bearable.
yeah, I think now that the bear is asleep, maybe we should go past him and see what we can find on here. What do you all think?
Sure. Or there's another path going back to the north over here.
That's true. Which would you like to take?
She said she's always left.
Left.
Yo guys, that's a big bear.
But thanks, Maz. Good of you to notice.
Barely.
Barely. Oh no. Pazu and Yriel move forward a bit more and find even more splitting
Oh.
paths. Uh, 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 we are now facing to the east, so a left-hand turn would take us north.
Yes.
Do you want me to continue to lead? Because I'll just keep doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna Maz take a look a little bit closer to the bear, seeing it sort of sleeping there, and investigates further to see is there anything of note. Does it look like just a run-of-the-mill bear? Is there anything on it? Scraps of clothing, anything to indicate whether it encountered any people, anything like that.
Ate a child.
Anything, yeah, anything of note. Bloody muzzle, not bloody
Is-
muzzle.
is it
Honey
wearing-
covered face.
Is it wearing a cloak with a knife shape on it?
Why don't
Yeah.
you go ahead and make an instinct roll?
I really hope there's honey on it. I really want a honey covered face.
It's wearing a red shirt.
Sorry, I lost the die. Hold on.
Says, "Oh bother."
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
That's pretty good.
That was very good.
Dude, I really can't find the other dice. Where did it get?
Well,
Wow. It went way. Wow.
Nice.
Okay, it's way back there. Hold on, guys.
Where's the dice
All
gone?
right. All right, I'm back. Hold on. Sorry.
Hey.
Hey. All right.
Hey.
All right. So I'm gonna keep the fear die they already rolled. So I got a 20 with fear.
a 20 with fear. As you
Oh, don't wake it up! Don't wake it up! Don't wake it up!
as you inspect the bear leaning down closely, its nose starts to twitch. You don't notice anything curious about the bear. I mean, the bear doesn't seem to be wearing any cloaks with knives on it. The bear doesn't seem to have recently eaten a child. Not that you can tell. But the bear's nose does start to twitch, and then as its nose twitches, its paw reaches for its nose. And as you're leaning down, looking closely at the bear, you suddenly realize the bear is looking closely right back at you.
No. So many regrets.
And with a loud roar, the bear pushes itself to its feet and faces
everybody.
off with Maz.
Oh.
As we hear the roar, Yriel and Pazu immediately double back. We know the sound of Maz getting in trouble when we hear it.
I didn't know it was short for a masochist.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Well, you don't mess. Why? Why would I look at a sleeping bear?
So immediately, Hilo makes a note in the story that this in his on his little piece of paper he's been scribbling on, that let sleeping bears lie is the moral of this particular part of the story.
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
You just always have to dip your toe in things.
What would you like to do, or would you like the bear to go first?
Oh God, are we fighting? Is this a fight?
I mean, you woke up a bear. It's up to you how you approach it from here, but
I will. Oh God, sorry, I wasn't ready for that. I will attempt to double back by as soon as I. All right. So as soon as I hear the roar, I immediately jump upwards into the air using my wings for some assistance to immediately hop back to put some distance between the bear and myself, moving towards my allies toward of my party in that direction, and to make sure that I'm out of swiping range, immediate swiping range, as the bear obviously comes back to life as it is, or back to a wakeful state, while also sort of shouting over like, "Sorry, guys, woke up the bear."
All of that is easy and
Bogha was
easy enough
standing
to do.
behind you.
All of that is easy enough to do.
Okay.
Especially the apologizing to your party.
And so that I got a distance from the bear.
You certainly got enough distance from
Okay.
for now.
So I guess I just got to make sure I got like GME stuff. So the combat is much more fluid.
There is no initiative. You guys tell me.
There's no turn.
There's no turns. You guys tell me what to do. Please make sure that everybody is sharing the spotlight with each other. I don't think that'll be a problem for this party, but let people do what comes naturally. Sometimes somebody's going to do two things in a row because that'll be natural, but I will let you know when the moves pass to me. But other than that, it's your world.
Okay, so I kind of glance back as Bogha is right behind me, like, Bogha, can you turn into anything that might distract the bear? I've seen those little illusions that you've done with the antlers and with the different faces.
Bogha's a little stunned at the moment, just kind of on her backside. Like she kind of fell backwards when the bear got back up again. So she's not really able to hear you properly.
So then I guess Maz sort of looks off to the other side and sees who's close by, kind of, hoping that other people will come to help.
I think that Svetlana, seeing Maz in trouble, in her natural altruistic instinct would be to charge at the bear, and use her charge ability to take an agility roll. And if she succeeds, mark a stress to deal 1d12 physical damage.
Okay.
So that's a 24, and it's a 12 and a 12. I don't know. That's a critical success.
That is a critical success.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Also, I can roll a d6 because of my Furbolg ancestry to possibly not mark a stress.
you don't
But I rolled a 4.
on
so I still
a
have stress.
critical. You clear a stress and take a hope.
Oh, okay. Well, I already have full hope.
So
I don't take a stress at all then.
yes.
Okay. So I will deal 1d12 damage.
Okay.
So that's a 6 plus, I believe, Hilo also gave me a d6 to add to a roll.
Okay.
Is that a damage roll?
You can do that on a damage roll if you'd like. Correct.
Yep.
So total is 10.
Okay.
Damage. So she takes her hollowed axe and she just pushes into the bear, pushing him away from Maz.
Okay. The bear kind of gets, because the bear has pushed itself up onto its hind feet to appear large, to intimidate this fairy that had woken it. The bear kind of gets put on its back foot, and then kind of re-steadies itself.
And then Maz just sort of moves closer towards the action once that distance was there, seeing Bogha in sort of distress, knowing that Maz always also wants to get in the fight, doesn't take any swipes at the bear, has her swords at the ready for whatever may happen next.
Okay.
So within melee range, I guess, is what I'd say. Kind of.
Okay.
Hmm.
That is easily doable without a roll.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say if no one else is gonna go, I think she would take her hallowed axe, put it in one hand, kind of spin it around, and release it at the bear, and make an attack roll. So is it attack roll just with the hope and fear die?
Yes. All of your rolls, except damage, are hope and fear.
Okay. So that is so it says +2 to attack roll, so I add that to whatever result.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a 20 with
boy.
fear.
Okay. You strike the bear, dealing how much damage?
It actually doesn't say.
It says your hollowed axe under primary. It says 1d10 plus 1.
Okay. Where is that? Under equipment?
No, it's just active
Active
weapons
weapons.
towards the top.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. 1d10. So that's an 8 plus 2, so 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. The bear, having just been charged by this furbolg, looks again in kind of wide-eyed wonderment as all of a sudden the same furbolg glowing axe strikes it in the chest, and the bear lets out a powerful roar and would like to the bear is going to respond by attempting to bite you, Svetlana. The bear is going to attempt to bite you. That is a 17, which I believe probably clears your evasion.
Yes.
Okay, so the bear opens its jaw in absolute agony from these 2 blows in a row from the furbolg and clamps down directly on to your arm. To roll some damage. Go ahead. Were you saying something? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So the 17 wasn't damage.
No,
Okay.
17 is not damage.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm rolling damage
So-
here.
I was gonna say, what was the damage? Okay.
Okay, that is 8 points of damage that the bear does, and you are restrained.
Okay. I would say that she has on armor onto her arm, and it would bite through that armor and kind of tear off some of the armor, so kind of reducing some of the impact.
Okay.
So she'll take 4 damage and have 1 armor slot down.
Okay, marking 1 armor slot and 1 HP, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay. And you are restrained, which means that you cannot move until this condition is cleared, but you can still take actions from your current position.
Okay. Restrained.
Seeing that Svetlana now both took this bite and cannot move, Maz will jump, again in this sort of acrobatic style of combat, a leap into the air, both swords drawn, and will attack with both, short swords, kind of coming down and up from the air and both pointed, sort of downward and like a sort of like a stabbing motion.
Okay.
Directly at the bear, trying to really get Svetlana.
Okay.
So, got a so it's a 13 with hope. Do I still get hope?
You still get a hope.
And then It says +3 agility next to my short sword. I don't know what that means.
You add 3 to your roll.
Okay, so then it would really be 15. Does it matter if it's both short swords or is it just the one?
Wasn't it?
Because I have 2 short swords and they're paired.
They are paired. I believe. Let me figure out how paired weapon work. But I believe that secondary weapons is recommended. You also take a second. Secondary weapon also has a feature that augments other aspects of dagger. It says you can make an attack roll with either a primary or a secondary weapon you have equipped.
Okay, so I'll just be using the one. So I'll say primary, so it should be a 15.
Okay. You said
With hope,
13
and
plus
it-
3, right? That'd be 16.
So yeah, it's because it says +3 agility on my short sword.
Okay.
And then it says 1d8 +2 for physical damage.
All right.
So I got to roll a d8.
So as you leap it into the air, bringing the sword down onto the bear's kind of shoulders, its thick hide, roll for damage.
Oh, that's not great. It's 3 + 2, so it's 5.
5 points of damage. Okay. The bear roars, and that was with hope, you said, right? Make sure you take
Yes.
a hope.
Yes.
Okay. And the bear roars in pain, starting to look a little ragged, starting to look a little like it was just having a good day, minding its own business, and
Like some furball,
Right.
furball, but just like decided to charge
right,
it.
it looks a little confused, but mostly in pain.
I didn't think I had a choice. So I think I would try to grapple with it and try to get out of its.
Okay. In order to get out, you would make a
Strength.
strength roll.
So that's 14 plus 2, 16 with fear.
All right. You manage to successfully free your arm from the bear's grasp, and the bear responds by lashing out at you with its claws. And it misses.
Yeah.
So the bear reaches out with its claws, but you just manage to pull your arm back enough, and you watch in slow motion as the claws swing by your face, and the bear roars again, frustrated at what it's experiencing.
Should we run?
Pazu
Mhm.
roars back, fluffing up, fur standing at end, and paces forward.
Make a presence roll for Pazu.
Make a presence roll for Pazu.
He just wanted the alliteration.
Presence for Pazu. Okay. That's 8. Does Pazu get my presence?
Pazu would get your presence, and do you have any experiences for Pazu that you could use if you have hope?
I'm going to say presence is +1. That's 9. And then Pazu's judge me by my size, do you? Ability adds +2.
Make sure you use because that uses a hope, right?
Correct.
If you use your experience,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. What did I say? 9? We're at 11 with fear.
All right. The bear looks around, sees all of you, hears the mighty roar from the ferocious Pazu, and scampers off.
Yay!
Hilo looked like he was totally ready to shoot his hand crossbow, and his hand wasn't shaking at all. And it was very glad that the bear ran away, and he can holster his hand crossbow without having fired a shot.
Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
If Bogha could sweat, she'd be sweating profusely.
You really had to poke the bear.
You know, I just wanted to go take a look. The bear looked very peaceful, and Uriel, you know that I can't help myself sometimes. And
Peace is just not in Maz's nature.
Shall we continue on?
Is everybody all right? Are we good to continue?
Got
Hello,
my arm a little
yeah.
bit. I'll be okay.
Okay.
This is normal to Pazu.
Pazu does the cat equivalent of rolling his eyes and turns back towards the path that he was following, you know, with his natural inclination to go left.
And Hilo does ask Svetlana if she's okay or requires tending.
I'll be okay. We'll just take some time to heal. It is just my arm. It is just a flesh wound.
Oops, I'm not clicked on my thingy now.
This path seems to be continuing on. That's not like a split in the path, right? We're just
No, it's a
moving
little
on.
divot in the path.
Okay. We've rounded the corner up here, and there's like sort of a clearing ahead.
Are you attempting to be stealthy, or are you just walking?
I'm gonna say we're being a little more cautious.
Okay.
Now that we know that at any point
Who do you
Maz
There could be bears.
could poke a bear.
I was gonna say that Maz is just kind of walking around.
All right. Would you like to make a group action roll for stealth? If so,
What's a stealth? What does stealth?
Yeah, what is stealth as far
Where's
as
my character?
I believe stealth is finesse.
Hide, finesse.
finesse hide? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I'm not
Alright,
very
playing.
stealthy.
Hilo is actually pretty stealthy normally. And gets a 12 with hope.
Is Bogha stealthy?
Think so.
As Bogha's, I don't know, small and casts illusions?
Are we doing this as a
Uh,
group action roll? And if so, was Hilo taking the lead on that one?
I think yes, group. I'm thinking yes, group, but I was
Yes, group.
asking if Bogha has any stealth abilities.
Not particularly stealth abilities. I'm small. I'm small though. Hide between legs.
You're doing great. Okay, I didn't know what other people's
Yeah,
strengths are.
no abilities. I think the person leading though,
But Bogha has recently joined us, and I'm still trying to get a feel for
Oh, fair enough.
their strengths.
Strength is not their strength, and finesse is not their strength so far.
Thanks for the update.
Anytime.
Well, Pazu and I did happen to stumble up in here first.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could nominate Hilo to move forward and try to be stealthy.
I'm in on that.
Which one? This isn't either or.
Hilo going up and trying to be stealthy.
Okay.
I vote the metal
All right.
Maybe not stealthy, but definitely inconspicuous,
Totally inconspicuous. No one will
Yeah.
notice this metal
Yeah,
thing
that-
going through the trees.
Right.
Yeah.
Hilo, again, his eyes don't really widen because they're stuck in kind of that large expression. But there's a momentary look of panic as he steps forward, despite his misgivings.
Okay. So that would be a finesse roll. And then is
So yeah,
everybody else assisting Hilo?
Yes.
Another group action roll, everybody. So tell me how you help. And what was your roll, Hilo?
It's a 12 with hope.
Okay. Make sure you take a hope.
Done deal.
Maz got a 17 with fear.
Okay.
Maz, I'm gonna need you to quit feeding the GM fear.
How does Maz
better than feeding
how
the
does
bears.
Maz assist in the sneaking?
So Maz just kind of notices, in tune to the people around her, of the change in their sort of like stature, and the noise created by the sort of footfalls, and sees them looking around, and kind of brings in her astute observations to go ahead and keep an eye out for anything that may be of note. And I guess I don't necessarily. I have a high enough roll anyhow, but what the heck? I'll use a hope, and I'll hit the astute observation as well.
Okay. I mean, you don't know you have a high enough roll, but sure.
Well, so it'd be 18.
Okay.
With
18 with fear. All right. As you point out the places that you think that Hilo should walk, Hilo steps directly on a twig that snaps. You... Everybody stays still for a moment, and you don't know if you have been heard.
Hilo is very good at staying still. Oh,
Okay.
and that's part of his stealth, right? So he's just like stock, not moving at all.
Okay.
I rolled 14 with hope,
Okay. Take a hope.
and I'm gonna kind of quietly counsel Hilo to move softly like Pazu. Gently, quietly.
Okay.
Watching out for twigs, for example.
All right. Hilo.
Svetlana. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
just going to say Hilo can choose what he would like to do with that advice. Go ahead, Svetlana.
Svetlana rolled a 10 with fear. I have +0. And she will help because she has like a raw umber chestnut skin, and she's rather large, so she will back up against the trees, but allow the more brightly colored or shiny people to go behind her.
Okay.
So she can kind of camouflage them a little bit.
Okay. As you kind of push people back into the bush, another twig snaps. Another twig snaps. And everybody holds their breath, looks around. The only sound currently is kind of a really peaceful breeze. Still don't know if you've been heard.
This little creek burbling off to the side of the
Yeah,
marker.
we can say you hear just a single ribbit, and it's not Bogha.
We had to stop. Children, what's that saying?
All right, Bogha, what did you roll
Rain.
for the group action roll?
I rolled a 4 with fear.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no!
So
Might as well put Maz in charge at this point, everybody.
as this metal character starts sneaking back forth, you notice, and maybe it's not really been on your mind for a while because you've been with Hilo for a few hours now. You notice when he moves, he sounds like he's made of metal. And two people emerge from the little clearing because they also heard you too. The one in the front says, "Hey, Who's that then?
Are they wearing cloaks?
They are wearing cloaks.
Do they have the symbol on it?
Yes, they do. Sorry, I was going to try to figure out how to rotate the character because it feels weird. They're facing down, but whatever. Yes, they are. You can tell. There is a gleaming knife symbol on the chest of their cloaks, and there is blood, which you assume is a part of the symbol, and not actual blood dripping from the knife.
I nudge. I kind of whisper to Maz, because she Maz is quite close. No. Hang on. I can't quite tell who that is behind me. Is that
I think,
like
I think
the person?
that is Maz next.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I nudge. I whisper to Maz. Yeah. I didn't happen to know what type of knife the cloaks were, right?
No.
I think it's been a steak knife.
No, I don't think it's a steak knife, though. I don't think it's a steak knife.
The- The person that saw us came out and said, "Who goes
Mhm.
there?" Hilo predictably steps forward, his hand outstretched. Hilo,
The
trying to actually trying to confuse them this time, since it worked so well before.
the person in front of you kind of cocks his head to the side and says, "Hello to you. Now, who are you?"
Hilo.
He sighs.
Yriel's just shaken. Not again.
He sighs. Who are you?
He taps himself. Hilo, and he points to you, and you are.
I'm the person who belongs here. Who are you?
Well met, person who belongs here. That's a really long name.
What are you doing in here?
Well, that's a funny story. That he's just really trying to buy time for his friends to like figure out what's going on and see what he sees. And he's like, and so he begins to tell the story. We were wandering through the forest and we found a bear. Did you know there were bears in this wood?
Of course there's bears in the woods. That's where bears live.
Oh, in every wood?
That actually kind of like puts him back a second. He's like, I suppose most woods.
So anyway, as we were doing that, I put him to sleep.
So you came into the
And
woods to put a bear to sleep.
Well, no, I didn't want to fight him. So, but when we ran into him, I decided I didn't want to fight him, so I put him to sleep.
So you didn't come into the woods to put a bear to sleep. So why'd you come into the woods?
It's a lovely day for a walk in the woods, don't you think?
He weighs it. He likes the woods, but he doesn't want to tell you that.
While he does this, while he's talking, Maz, who's back towards the back and may not be able to see, gets told, these guys have daggers on their cloaks. They may be what we're looking for. You hear that in your head.
Maz sort of looks around confused, like turns behind her to look at Bogha and looks at Bogha's face to try to confirm where that sound would have came from. And didn't see Bogha's mouth move, but did you say that towards Bogha?
Help, please.
The guy that
Bogha's right eye and left eye blinks. Disconnected. Like right eye first, left eye next. Like confused. Like confused at what Maz is saying here.
the guy that Hilo's talking to points with his knife. You got more people around that corner?
Do you count cats as people?
He turns to his friend. Do we count cats as people? The other one just shrugs.
Kind Maz
I'm gonna
starts to
say
slowly step forward, just more confused than anything else, but heard the help me and starts to work forward.
yeah. Yriel moves up near Hilo also with Pazu, of course, and clarifies that Pazu is superior to people. Don't be silly.
Of course. Well, then yes.
The bandit you're talking to holds out his knife directly to Hilo and says, "Tell your friends to stop moving."
That's your cue, Hilo.
Hilo says, "Or you've left off the or."
The bandit is going to attack you with its dagger.
Whoo!
All right.
Attacking
Hilo is no
Hilo?
longer in charge of representing the party.
That does clear it up a bit.
That is a 17 to hit.
That is way above my evasion.
All right.
Hang on. Hang on.
Okay.
I have a thing. I just gotta find
Okay.
it. All right. It is Hilo within very close range of
Yes.
Yriel. Once per short rest, Yriel can mark a stress and make an adversary re-roll an attack.
All right. Let's re-roll.
Ooh,
That is a 14.
that's
I'm
still
sorry,
above
that's a
my
15.
evasions. Yeah.
What is? Can I ask what your evasion is?
I don't know. Am I allowed to tell what my evasion is?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah, my evasion's 10. So yeah.
Okay, because I could spare, or I could do a prayer die to reduce the roll. Oh no, that's incoming damage. Sorry. Okay, you can roll for damage.
All right.
So I guess yeah. Roll for damage.
Make sure you mark a stress. Yriel?
I did, yes. And my once per action, or once per rest thing.
That is 8 points of damage.
That's not very nice. Please, I'd have to mark.
And what's your minor?
I'm sorry.
What's your like minor and major threshold?
My minor is 1. My major is 6. So I'd have to smack 2 armor to get that down to 1, which is okay, I think.
I could reduce it by 4, and then you'd only have to spend 1 armor slot.
Okay, we could do that.
Okay, so I'll use my prayer die, which I rolled at the beginning, and so I'll.
Did you roll a 3 and a 4?
A 3 and a 4.
You
Yeah,
could,
so I was going to use the 4.
You could
one.
also use the 3. That would 8 minus 3 is 5. So looking at his.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Sorry, not to
so-
backseat GM you here, but I figured I'd
No,
save you.
no, that's good. I can't really do the math in my head. very
No, this is
well,
okay.
so.
This is our first real combat, so we're all learning some things. I'm learning how to play this game and everything. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
if
Svetlana
you
was
reduce it by 3, that takes it down to 5. So I would mark 1 hit point without spending armor.
correct.
Okay.
And then as the stabbing happens, the second character that you can see scurries up a tree.
Screws up a tree.
He is now out of sight in the trees near you. And that is your turn.
As the knife kind of hits Hilo and like stabs at him, and you hear this little tune kind of begin to go off in like a music box nearby, and he's going to spend, let's say I've got that many, let's spend 1, 2, 3 hope
Okay.
for an arcane barrage. I need another d6. Only 9 damage.
And who are you attacking?
The only one I can see, because the other one, it has to be someone I can see.
Okay.
Well, I don't actually. It doesn't say that, but I assume it's against the one that attacked me. So, yeah.
All right. So you said 8 damage?
8 damage. Yep.
All right. The bandit, arms still out from having I mean, let's be honest, he was shoving a metal knife against metal from having poked you with his knife, looks up as an arcane barrage strikes him dead center in the chest, and he doesn't know what has happened to him. He looks a little stunned. Still doesn't look too hurt.
So am I melee range of the guy in front of me, and then the tree, the other one went up, is to my west?
That's you.
Right? So, like, the tree's, like, right here or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, next to me. So I jump up and flap my wings a bit to get some elevation to try to glance into the tree and see if I can locate where this other bandit, went off to.
Okay.
Can I do that? Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah, I'd say you could do that.
Is that I'm assuming that's a roll,
I'd
right?
assume that would be, just because you had to, you don't know exactly where in the trees he went. I would say that'd be an instinct roll.
An instinct roll. All right. Well, let me use the dice that Can I use the dice that Hilo gave me?
Absolutely. Roll what is it?
All
A
right.
1d6?
Yep, and great. That was another one.
Yes, it is.
So I got a 9 plus 1, so a 10. A 10 with fear.
10 with fear. So
Jesus. I'm on a roll today, man.
We wasted all
my-
of our good rolls with the carnival games. And
Yeah.
now that we're medium rolls, we get the fears.
So
all right, I see.
as you fly up, I mean, he's a guy in a cloak in a tree. He's not hard to see. You fly up, and as you are about to get to him, you see that he saw you just a moment before you saw him. And he is going to attack from above. He is going to leap from the tree with his dagger to attempt to attack you. So I'm going to roll for that attack. If I find my d20, there it is. And he is going to, I believe, okay, so I rolled a 6. I have an attack modifier of +1, so that is a 7.
7 damage.
No, that is a 7, so if that meets or clears your evasion.
My evasion is 7.
Your evasion is 7. So that means as you are flying up, the bandit leaps from the tree and stabs its dagger into you. Stabs its dagger directly into you, and I will roll for damage. Oh, sheesh. This is...
Question.
Yes.
DM question. Since they're sort of flying / in the air, that I'm not in very close range with Maz.
Let me see where...
I mean, on the map, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell what...
10 feet, but...
I would say because he's up, that would not be very close range. Okay, I really shouldn't be telling you this, but this is our first combat. Maz, do you see anything in your ancestry that might help you here?
No, but I'm guessing that I should. I don't have my ancestry's not up on my screen right now. Can it be?
It's under effects and features on your character.
Under effects and features.
It's near the bottom of the page.
You'd have to scroll down on the right side for me on effects and features.
Once. You mean the wings?
Read the whole thing.
Yeah, that I get the +2 evasion.
Yes.
Yes, by marking it. I was actually not going to do that.
Okay.
I didn't know
Okay. I
about
just
that.
want to make sure. All right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would have helped.
Thank you,
Yes.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess it said
But no, I like you doing that though, because it's like we're all still learning the stuff. So that's totally.
Michaela was asking why I had everybody's character sheets up earlier.
Yeah.
This is the answer.
That's why.
All right, hold on. I'm still rolling. This is a lot. That is 13 physical damage as the bandit leaps from the tree, digging its dagger into you, and the weight of the bandit slams you both into the ground. Him on top.
Okay.
So you take the brunt of the damage.
So can I mark armor slots?
You absolutely can. They're your armor slots.
All right. So if I mark 2 armor slots, then as I slam into the ground and, feel the impact of that, but knowing that this is not the first fight that I've been in, I'm assuming this is within melee range, right?
Mhm. Well, when the
So
guy
then-
lands on top of you, absolutely.
So that means I can then mark 2 armor slots and roll 2 d6s, because I could use 2 armor slots of damage
Okay.
using vengeance.
Can I make another suggestion? I'm sorry to.
Yes.
Is there a
No.
reason you're marking 2? Your armor is 5, so that's going to take 2 is going to take you down to 3, which is your minor, but only marking 1 would be 8, which is still below your major.
Oh, so I would just mark 1. If I mark 1, do I take any damage?
So every time you mark an armor slot, it reduces your damage by your armor amount. So if I did 13 damage, you reduce it by 5 the first time, that'd be 8.
And that already gets me minor.
That already gets you minor. If you reduce it again, it's 3, which is still minor. So you're just reducing it for.
I would be kind of wasting it. More or less.
Correct. I would only mark 1, but
Okay.
it's your armor. So
Actually, well, let's try this. I was thinking I was mark 2 because now I can roll 2 d6.
I
And that
see.
means I could do 7 damage.
I
back.
see what you're doing. All right, that's
Yeah, and then as I hit the ground, I take the hit, having been in combat before. I immediately sort of put the point of my dagger up so that it stabs the bandit as he lands on top. Of
okay.
me.
And you deal 7 damage. Okay.
And then sort of start to try to push him off of me. As we are on the ground.
That is an incredibly compelling reason to mark a second armor slot. I like it.
Yeah.
That was very clever. Okay. Sorry if these are if I'm giving too much things, but I'm just trying to make sure everybody. It's our first combat. It's gonna be a little bumpy as we all learn the systems. So, all right. And you don't have to roll anything. So yeah, it is the party's turn.
I just want to get into close range with everybody.
Okay.
But I'll kind of ready my hallowed axe,
Okay.
but I'll wait for everybody else to decide what they want to do.
This is not exact positioning, but that guy is also. That's not a great place to. Hold on. Sorry, this map gets a little weird at this scale, but all right.
So the guy is on top of Maz.
I would say that as they fell, Maz stabbed him with the short sword, and the guy will actually say he kind of rolled back this way. He's not in the trees or anything. He's just kind of. Maz kicked him into kind of the light underbrush. Bogha, Yriel, would you like to?
Yes. Yriel and Pazu, seeing Maz has been, knocked down, even though he's putting up a good fight. I would like to. What's the word I'm looking for here? Connect with Pazu and ask him to jump into combat.
Okay.
So this is agility. That's a 16 with fear.
Okay. I actually don't know, what do you have to clear in order to have Pazu command to take an action? What do you have to clear in order to make that happen?
I'm not sure.
me-
either. I was looking for something about
Yeah,
this,
you said 16 with fear, right?
What?
Oops.
Yes. Are we using an action tracker?
Not really. No.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a thing about using actions with hope, but
I'm trying to find. There's nothing. Oops. I don't know if I can spell companion. That's definitely not how to spell it. Okay. Hold on. I mean, I guess what we'll do is you're telling your companion to attack. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay. So what we'll say is that you said 16 with fear. Okay.
Right.
That will. And who are you attacking?
Good question.
Or I guess who is Pazu attacking?
Okay, wait. Who are we? It's going to be the one that attacked Matt.
Gonna be the one that attacked Maz. Okay, so Pazu leaps past Hilo, attacking this bandit right here, and attacking with claws. I take it.
Yes, attacking with claws. So is that again the duality dice?
Yeah. Well,
Or was
no,
that already the success?
you already succeeded the way I understand it, so you would just roll your
Okay.
1d6 physical damage.
Okay, that's
That's a 1. Okay.
Plus 2 agility?
That's just
My claws.
just to hit, not for. I believe. Yeah, it would say +2 to the damage.
Okay.
Can I add Paradise so that it adds more damage?
Let me double check, but I think you can. Reduce any. It just said add to any roll result after the roll. Sure.
Okay, so
Okay.
I will whisper a little prayer and say, Corby with Pazu.
And then as Pazu
Mm-hmm.
attacks, we have Ranger's focus. I'm gonna spend hope.
Mm-hmm.
And the bandit rolling around on the ground is now Pazu's sole focus. He will not lose track of this bandit. If it climbs a tree
Okay.
again, Pazu's gonna know where the bandit is. Any attack or damage rolls out of stress to the bandit. And then if we were to miss the attack, we would start up.
Okay. So that is 5 total damage with the prayer dice. Is that correct? Because it was 1.
Yes.
You rolled a 1, correct? Yeah, it was 1.
I
And
rolled
then
a one,
Michaela
yes.
was adding 4 with her prayer dice. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And then also a stress because that is now Pazu's focus. Is that we good? We got that right? Okay. Just want to make
Yes.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You rolled with fear, so that means it is my turn. The bandit looks pretty shocked that he is being attacked by such an adorable looking cat, and doesn't know what else to do. Immediately lashes out with its dagger at Pazu,
What
which
the?
I don't feel good about as a person.
Okay. Oh, is this? I'm sorry. Was the attack Pazu's attack completed, and then this is a separate action?
Yeah. So anytime any of you miss an attack, which you didn't do, or roll with fear, or a few other things, that's when it becomes my turn. So in this case, you
Okay.
rolled a 16 with fear, which was a hit, but it was with fear, so that becomes my turn.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what is your attack roll?
I haven't rolled it yet.
Okay.
It's a 13.
Okay. Looking.
Mhm.
See what I can do. I think that's a hit.
Okay. We don't roll damage because harming animals is just imaginary. So Pazu marks a single stress.
Extra stress. Understandable.
Pazu, the dagger just barely like gives him like kind of an embarrassing looking haircut, we'll say.
I was thinking cut off a couple whiskers.
No. This is
Whoa.
just an embarrassing looking haircut, and Pazu kind of like recoils a little bit but doesn't back down. And I will hand the play back over to the players.
I think that Svetlana, knowing that our goal is to find the boy, we want to talk to these guys. So I don't want to kill them immediately, at least. So I'm going to take my axe and put it against his throat and kind of shove him to the ground, or attempt to try to shove him to the ground.
Okay, which one?
The one closest to me.
Okay. So are you moving past Maz?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so you're going to be down here?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's where Maz is for me.
I have Maz here and Svetlana here.
I don't.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have him where RTM showed him.
Oh, that's
Well,
weird.
theater of the mind,
I-
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see
Go ahead.
that.
You might not based on your angle, Bogha, you
Ah.
might not see. Yeah, you're out of vision of Pazu is like right here. There-
Lovely.
There you go. So you are attempting to intimidate the bandit with your axe.
I would say it's less intimidation than like brute strength, trying to like push him down.
Control.
Control. I mean, it could be
Okay, so
intimidate if that's what you
We'll call that a grapple. That sounds like a grapple.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a strength roll for me.
Grappling with an axe is good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's a 9. Trying to think if I can add an experience. I don't think so.
9 with
Sorry, hope.
a 9 with hope. Okay. Take a hope if you have a slot. And unfortunately, you attempt to push your axe into the bandit to try to knock him down, and he sidesteps and comes back to you with the dagger. But he doesn't actually stab you. He looks a little bewildered and says, "You haven't told us what you want."
I just want the boy. Why did you take the boy?
Didn't he start this fight?
Rather than answer,
Yes. Yes, he
is
did.
going
I
to
was
attempt
looking.
to stab you with his dagger. And I believe he is going to swing right by you. Actually, I think that's going to connect. That's an 8. That's an 8. Oof. That is 4 physical damage he will deal to Svetlana.
What? So I have a question.
Mhm.
I haven't taken any stress like at
Okay.
all, and I don't know what would mark a stress. I guess one of my abilities, the charge, is to mark a stress.
Okay.
Is that the only thing?
You also have
that would
I am in your shield. So you should have a stress from using charge earlier. It sounds like.
I think you said that I didn't for some reason.
Oh, you had a critical success. That's why.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's how many points?
That was 4 points.
Okay. 4 points. So I would use 1 armor slot and have no damage.
As he reaches out to you with his dagger, you simply allow the dagger to hit your armor. And what kind of armor are you wearing here? Oh, you have a round
Yeah,
shield.
it's,
So you are you adding +1 to your armor score all these times? I just want to make sure. Is that
I thought it was
okay?
already.
If it all right. I just want to make sure. If
I
you have it
don't know.
equipped, it should add it automatically. Okay. So you, as he reaches out with his dagger, you block it with your shield, and it makes a loud clanging noise, but you take no damage. And that is your turn, everyone.
Yriel will move forward to be next to Pazu,
Mm-hmm.
and so this enemy on the side closest to Svetlana
Okay.
is kind of surrounded, right?
So you'll be, I don't know what you're seeing, but you'll be here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And will attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with my broadsword.
Okay.
And it gets +1 to attack because it's reliable. So that is.
It'll be +3 because it's also +2 from your agility.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be a 22 with hope.
Take a hope, and yeah, you hit him. You hit him a little bit.
But also spend a hope so that it's that guy is Yriel's focus.
Okay. Got it.
So they take a stress.
Okay.
And then that is a 1d8. What's an 8 look like?
It's like a weird
It's like
tetrahedron thingy.
it looks like this, if you can see this.
Double O.
I got too many dice. It's fine.
Yeah. It's kind of like a diamond.
Okay, yes. And that. Nope, that's the wrong one because it came up a 9. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is. It looks almost
7.
okay. 7.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's like an oracle.
Okay, so that is 7 damage. I don't have anything that modifies the damage.
Okay. So he takes the swing from your sword, and he's looking hurt, but he's still standing. He's still standing.
Having fought with Yriel before, Maz sees, watches Yriel take that swing and knows that this is the perfect moment to, follow up, and pulls out, the short sword directly behind him and takes a quick swing from the side, trying to slash at the bandit's side to get him at least, maybe not killed, but subdued after thinking as well that we definitely would like these guys to talk.
This one.
As
This
well.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a so it's a 13 with hope, and it's reliable, so it's a +1 because of the reliable, so it should be a 14.
Okay. Got a 14. I just realized I have been doing this very wrong this whole time. Sorry. I have been doing my end wrong.
That's good.
That's a hit, and take a hope.
And take a hope. Okay.
Mhm.
So then I need to roll a D8, and I also GM. I realize the pair, it says that it's a +2 to primary weapon damage and melee is what it says on my thing. Is that correct?
Your short sword at the top, like your primary, already says +2, so I assume that's from the paired one.
Oh, that's probably the +2.
Yeah, that's
okay,
from the paired one.
Right. Yeah. All right, so I just roll 1d8, then it's 1d8 +2.
Correct.
So it's 4 +2, so that's a 6.
The 6. All right. He is looking very hurt, and he actually whirls around left, right, looking at how surrounded he is, and he drops to his knees and says, "Mercy! Mercy! And the other one says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Mercy, I don't want to die."
Pazu would kind of casually catch the second one that he's focused on off guard while he's distracted.
Okay.
Try to knock him down.
Okay. So that's a strength roll for Pazu?
I guess I was thinking more presence, like
So it's more of a, okay.
like try to get him to flinch,
More of an
maybe,
intimidation?
and stumble backwards.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Okay. So then how do... Oh, okay. So this is the duality dice. With presence, which is a +1, so we're at 9 with fear.
9 with fear. All right. The other bandit so filled with fury that his companion is giving up so easily. When Pazu lunges at him, kind of just an intimidation lunge, does the exact same thing back.
Nope.
Does the exact same thing back and does not flinch. Instead, he turns and climbs the tree next to him again. And attempts to jump down onto Tamaz a second time.
Boy, this guy's stupid.
Maz, is this an attack?
This is an attack.
Maz, I'm gonna mark a stress and bump my evasion up by 2, and Maz attempts to dodge what's happening, and you know, adeptly tries to flap her wings and, you know, roll out of the way. And
did you just roll something? You don't need to roll anything if you're just trying to.
Oh, I don't need to roll. Okay, I was just getting ready.
Yeah.
Attempts to
Just warming up.
adeptly. I'm just warming up. I got dice. I want to roll it.
All right. So you marked a stress.
I marked a stress.
Okay, and that increases your evasion to 9. The
Yes.
bandit leaps from the tree, and you're like, "You've already done this," and you just step out of the way, and the bandit. I'm gonna move you this way as stepping out of the way. You step out of the way, and the bandit crashes down to the ground.
Is that bandit incapacitated?
He is not. No.
Okay.
So, Bogha spots this, and in a weird moment of bravery, kind of move. Because I'm guessing the bandit was quite close to where Bogha is, where he fell.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
You are within melee of this bandit currently.
As a gut instinct, I swing my hand at him,
Okay.
and I use the hand runes.
Okay.
That are on like a little board of wood, in my like in the cloth that's around my hands.
Okay.
And I just kind of try to clock him in the face with that.
Okay. I love it. Go ahead and roll.
Is a what is it? It's a D10.
Oh, roll for
No, I have to roll for
duality for damage first. Or to hit first. I'm sorry. I said it backwards.
Holy crap! Well, that is a 24 with fear.
Yeah, you're gonna hit.
What?
Wait, a 24? Wait, a
That's a
24 with
critical.
fear? That's a critical. That's 2 12s.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if that was with.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's including
He has a
my
bonus.
instinct.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
instinct.
So
Oh.
good call though. Good call. But yeah.
The bonus makes a difference.
Okay. So that hits. So roll for damage.
I do 10.
Wow.
10 damage.
That is
Nice.
the bandit still recovering from having flown from the tree, and what he thought was going to be a really, really good move. He was really confident that it was going to, it was going to be something impressive. Hits the ground, turns and looks up as a small ribbit smacks him in the face as hard as he can with a with hand runes, and he now also drops to his knees begging for mercy.
I didn't know how audible it would be, but sorry, everybody, if you can hear my crying, wailing child in the other room.
It's okay. It's a stressful situation.
Yeah,
I understand.
that bandit is crying quite a lot.
The bandit bursts into tears, and they are both now asking for mercy. They are asking to just leave with their lives. They will do whatever.
Yriel points her broadsword at the one in front of her. Says, "Where's the boy?"
Maz looks over and just says, "Buddy, I'd suggest to tell her. You don't want to know where this is going to go."
All right, Yriel, could you make a presence roll with advantage, please?
What's advantage?
Roll a d6 and add it.
Okay. All right. I've got 6 with hope, including my attribute, and then 2 from the advantage, but then I can also roll the rally.
Correct?
I gotta roll it on the table.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, that's a 5. So we're up to 11.
You had 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, shouldn't that be 13?
Plus 5 is
What? No, I had 6.
Plus,
you added 2 from the advantage.
Okay.
that was also
Sure. I'm good at
that
math.
was also my understanding, but admittedly, Maisie is barking in the background, so I have no idea if that's correct at this
Okay,
point.
all right.
All right. To be honest, they are both ready to give up. They will give you anything to escape with their lives. So he says, "Please, just don't hurt me." And he looks at his partner, and he looks, "Don't hurt me." And he looks at his partner again, and he says, "The boy, he is they'll kill me if I tell you. They'll kill me if I tell you, but you'll kill."
I'll kill you if you don't.
And I chime in and say, "She will."
That's compelling. And he says, south of here. The boy is south of here. They're holding him until it's time.
Time for what?
He doesn't answer.
South in the woods or beyond the forest?
He hangs his head and says, "In the woods."
Bogha's gonna take a second
Mm-hmm.
and going to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
And it's going to make she's gonna make, I think, herself look a little bit more imposing.
Okay.
Add a couple little fangs, I suppose.
Okay.
She looked really weird on a frog with fangs.
I love it.
And actually takes her hood down a little bit, so her eyes are fully visible. The piercing, the piercing amber of her eyes is fully on show.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have to actually roll for that
Mm-hmm.
because it's spellcast. She know what it would be under. So let's do that.
I believe it would be your instinct. So whatever you roll
Yeah.
plus 2.
Yep, I would definitely get that. It would be a 15 with fear.
Okay.
And I only need to roll 10 for that, for it to actually be able to pull it off.
Okay. All right. You have
Kinda-
given yourself fangs and made yourself look more intimidating.
I suppose I don't have to crouch down for this, do I?
Because you're
In-
tiny.
Lean in.
Yeah. Go like, tell us, what will they do with the boy? To your plans. Try and intimidate him into telling us.
Which one are you attempting to intimidate?
The one just there. Just
This one?
in front of me. The one I knocked. Knocked for 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The bandit looks horrified, and you can see his whole body starting to shake, and he lowers his head and he says, they're planning to. And then the other bandit sticks his knife between his ribs, and the bandit falls dead.
Damn.
Bogha looks taken aback. Like, Bogha was not expecting this whatsoever. Just kind of, like, takes a startled step back. Looks in horror.
The other bandit stares up at you all defiantly.
I think Svetlana would say, hold him to Yriel, and would drag the other guy away and cast Sparing Touch on him.
Okay.
So, assuming Yriel hears me and complies.
Yriel will try. Yriel's not very big.
Okay.
True.
So
But I'm also kind of dragging him away.
you're dragging the one that got stabbed away?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I'm trying to
Okay. And
cast.
Yriel is trying to restrain the other one?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for...
And maybe Pazu too. I don't know.
Hilo will attempt to help Yriel by smacking him on the head with the hilt of his rapier.
It's much easier to hold this way.
Okay. And do me a favor and roll for that, Hilo.
So rather than helping, it's going to be the attack roll?
Well, you said you're going to smack him, so...
Well, yeah. Okay.
It's the smack attack.
Smack attack.
Is that just melee or?
That's if it's just a melee,
Yeah.
it's a 16 with hope.
Okay. Take a hope and roll a d4.
Oh, lovely. It's a 1.
Hilo attempts to help by stunning the other bandit, and the other bandit falls down, unmoving.
Oh.
Pazu calmly walks over and sits on the bandit and begins to, clean his paws.
All right. And Svetlana, you said you were spare the dying on...
Sparing
Oh,
touch.
sorry.
Yeah, it clears 2 hit points.
Okay, so the bandit who was just... Actually, I don't know, can you... Yeah, I guess you can. Okay. All right. The bandit who was just stabbed by his friend breathes in really deep, and
I would say I'm also restraining him as I do this.
okay.
Zombie bandit.
He sits up. Ow! Holding his side.
I just saved your life. It would do you good to tell us the truth.
You brought me back just to have me killed again. What safety is there for me? How will you keep me safe? How will you keep me
can
from
run.
dying and being brought back and dying again? They will kill me 1,000 times if I tell you.
You can't run away.
You can't run from them. There is no place
What if,
far enough.
unless we kill them all?
All of them?
How many of you are there?
How many grains of sand are on the beach?
Millions?
Which beach?
Billions?
What's the size of the beach? How far is the water? Because I think we could figure this out.
Not now, Hilo. Not now.
The bandit looks at Hilo. I don't like that one.
So you're saying that your organization has infiltrated like governments around here, that there are many of you?
We're everywhere.
I have a question. If this is a new threat, or so what I'm thinking is Yriel has knowledge, and the goblin tribes collect and share stories about all the places that they travel to. Is it possible that Yriel would have heard some rumors or something that might give us, a little more information?
That's very interesting. Make a knowledge roll.
Knowledge roll. Sure. Okay, I'm gonna have to quit throwing the one die on the ground. That is 14 with fear plus my experience of collective memory.
Okay.
Plus 2.
Okay.
So 16 with fear.
16 with fear. Okay. There are stories that you've heard that you assumed were the kinds of things that you tell children to make sure they don't get in trouble. The boogeyman type stories of an underground network of people who aren't satisfied with the world in its current state. They aren't satisfied with the Shatterlands and how the Shatterlands are being run. They believe that new rulers should be put in place, and anybody who dares step outside the lines are told that they could meet these people, and often meet them at the wrong end of a blade.
Okay, so we are going to want to be very careful moving forward. These are, we don't know who we can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Yriel, and sort of motion over towards the zombie bandit, saying, that I think this one has given us all that we can get, and that, we should let him go.
His eyes light up with just the faintest bit of hope.
I know that you were just dead. And I know that you will do what is right from now on. And Kor will shine his light upon you if you choose the right path. And I believe that you can escape this life. So go forth and be good, be kind, and help people.
He kind of he's confused, but he pushes himself to his feet, and I just realized I don't know how to mark a character as dead. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Figured it out. He pushes himself to his feet and kind of looks at you all incredulously. He doesn't understand. Like, he asked for mercy, but he doesn't mean he understands it. He's never shown it to anyone before. And he heads off out of sight, and before he leaves, he turns back one more time and says, "The boy, south. You can stop them. There's still time." And then he runs off.
Take a bat out of hell.
And that's where we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yay!
Technical difficulty day.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't know. Nah, it went flawlessly.
Yeah, no notes. No notes.